It's been on my mind quite a lot recently. Thinking about like why I started a YouTube channel. Um, the first 3 videos have kind of informed me as to what it is that I'm actually going to talk about. I think going forward, which is a balance of kind of my interest in sort of finding reality, whatever that means, or non-duality, things like that, like the essence of life, or whatever nonsense that means. You'll notice my tone is a bit kind of off. I feel quite frustrated recently, like a lot of anger's been coming up for me. Which actually links to why I started a YouTube channel. And I think the simple answer is because it's allowing myself to say things which are difficult, which I never felt like I could or I didn't do when I was a kid for whatever reason. Maybe reasons that I'll go into in this video or in later videos or whatnot, but yeah, I've been noticing recently, a lot of anger, frustration has been coming up for me. Probably because when I was younger, like for many of us, which I think is worth stating, I'm talking from a very personal perspective, which I intuitively feel is what I'd like to do, because it is for my healing. But I hope that in hearing me, it is helpful for you. And I think a lot of my trepidation in terms of starting it was because I thought, is it self-centered? Is it narcissistic? Is it self-pitying? And, I've been trying to push a lot of that away, particularly self-pity, but I just realized this evening that if you were never allowed to feel self-pity, I think you have to allow it before you can get rid of it, same as anything. Not that you're trying to get rid of it, but it has to be processed and it has to come up before it can be let go of. And I realized that it doesn't matter how many people or how little people listen or watch these videos. It's just like a time capsule for people who, including myself, you can come back and just see it as a checkpoint as to where I am at. Just exploring freely what it is that I'm interested in or thoughts that are coming up for me. And I think it will seem clear as time passes. I don't know how long that period is, but there'll be an oscillation between like when I'm feeling happier and free, and then when it feels a bit darker and heavier when I'm processing stuff. But I feel like my gift that I enjoy is being authentic. Like I don't put up a pretense, and I think that's becoming more and more true. Whether it's something is like, if you don't want to smile, don't smile. It sounds little, but it's quite big. Or, just tonight I was at football and a guy was just talking to me in a condescending tone, and usually, mainly because I used to smoke a lot of cannabis, I'd just be like, yeah, it's fine, or just ignore it. But now I kind of increasingly so the energies of repression are coming up, so I can't avoid it. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to have to address it. You're going to have to talk, and you're going to have to say these things. Like you're going to have to get it up. And it's the same for all of us, I think. And I just see how much of it there is. This stuff that I've just been avoiding for so long. And it's just allowing yourself to feel all these things and to pause when talking or making gestures which don't fit this imagined social convention. If you want to kind of be strange, and whatever strange means, just move how you want to move and pause for how long you want to pause. It's really just going beyond every programmed thing or learned thing, assumed thing you got as a kid. I was also feeling a lot of trepidation in terms of, kind of maybe I want it in trees and like the setting. But I realized that it really isn't in my control as to when these videos come or what inspires them. It's just right. I suddenly just get an urge like, right, we need to do it now. It can't be planned. It's never ever planned. There's no script. I don't have any script. I vaguely have an idea. I sometimes think of the title before I start talking, but there's no plan. It's completely from my heart, as far as I can tell. Granted, with some beliefs and judgments on top of that, which may be apparent to you, which is valuable. I'm not sat here thinking that I'm uh, all done and dusted by any means. I think increasingly so. I feel the quote of like "take the plank out of your own eye" is more relevant to me than it ever has been now. I think when that guy was annoying me at football today, being condescending, I kind of thought, I wonder where I'm condescending towards people. And I see it in myself sometimes. It's kind of, we think we're right, we know, and the other person doesn't, and vice versa, that they know and we don't. And it's like this weird game we play where just this comparison, and it's like so much energy to do these things, and it's just, yeah. Yeah, I've really been leaning into letting myself feel ease, and that's come actually through asking through that with a lot of heaviness, having to just let go of being productive and thinking that that means you're doing good, or leaving the kitchen a mess or your bedroom a mess, and not letting that affect your worth or whatever these things are. I see how deep rooted the conditioning is for me. But that's good. seeing the insanity is the beginning of sanity. I still feel there's a lot of yeah, I keep saying it, anger and frustration, but it's not learning. I don't know how to somatically bring it into the body yet. I can feel it in my body, just this frustration, but even now I'm feeling the urge to want to stop talking. Like it doesn't bring it up. How does one bring it up and process it in a healthy way that doesn't cause further harm or set one back to deal with further things in the future? If you say something overly aggressive to someone who has wronged you or seemingly wronged you in the past, it's something you're going to have to clear up in the future. So you want to do things from a place where you're not creating further pain, which takes a lot of presence and energy, which means at least it seems at the beginning of starting this that you can only do so much in a day. Today and the last 3 days I haven't done anything, really. I just couldn't. But maybe if we just stopped measuring productivity as a sign of doing a good job, we'd all be in a better place. And yeah, and I think all of these things and what we're all called to do is just is to just be raw and authentic with ourselves. Because if we can't be raw and authentic, we can never have connection. If we never tell people that we're sad or that we're hurting, they're never going to know. And it's only by doing it, being vulnerable, that we can ever learn to get better at communicating that and understanding it. You don't understand it by just isolating yourself, which I've done in the past. That doesn't mean that you don't create space around yourself and set boundaries, quite the opposite. Um, yeah, it's weird. Like, this isn't for entertainment. It's just seeing myself and giving myself that space to feel what I'm feeling and sharing it. So yeah, that's it.